Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. Couple things. I have a yoga mat. If you're without one, no worries. Find a place in your house that's got some carpeting, or maybe you've got a good sturdy rug that you can use. I just don't want you to be on something that's a surface that's slippery or hard or something that's going to slide out from underneath you. I also have a folded blanket. That's as simple as a folded beach towel, bath towel, maybe the throw blanket from your couch. And 2 yoga blocks, a terrific substitute for those would be 2 thick books. We'll start standing at the front edge, the short edge of your mat. If you don't have one, you'll use your imagination. Let your feet be hip distance and parallel. And instead of feeling like we're locked into our legs, a little soft bend in our knees, a little softness all around. Take your arms in front of you, palms face each other. Make a few just big circles away from each other. And let that inspire you to float your arms along your sides, palms facing out, but that's originating at your shoulder joint. It's not just a flick of the wrist. Your chin is parallel to the ground. Our gaze, as I like to say, is at the bright horizon. And it's here that we stop for a moment so that we can start. We stop allowing ourselves to be so easily distracted, for example. We stop worrying about incoming text messages and instead inhales and exhales. And as you notice your inhales and your exhales, see if you can make them a little bit longer. Maybe add a little pause at the top when you're full and a little pause at the bottom when you're empty. And if you're able to breathe in and out through your nose, that's ideal, but all I want is for you to breathe with awareness. Now inhale your arms, V-shaped thumbs to the sky, and exhale, float your arms along your sides. Just twice more like that. Inhale, V-shape. And exhale, arms along your side. One more time. Inhale, V. Exhale, arms along your sides. This time as we inhale, it's a chair pose. So we'll sit back and down as if there's a chair there, but there isn't. And then we stand and float our arms along our sides. We inhale as we come into our chair, and then exhale and float our arms along our sides. Twice more, just like that. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale, standing up. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, standing up. I'm about to throw you a curveball. Ready? Inhale, chair pose, hands on your hips. Step your left leg back and land on the ball of your back foot. Float your arms into that V shape. See if you can keep the V shape. Step it right into your chair pose and then stand it up and arms along your sides. Chair pose. Stay here, hands on your hips. Step your right foot back. Land on the ball of that right foot. Float your arms to our V shape and then stand back into your chair and stand it up. Arms float along your side. Chair pose. Step it back, hands can go on your hips or keep the V shape, left foot steps back. Then step it back into chair pose and we stand it up. Chair pose, right foot steps back, your hands can be on your hips or V shape. And then we stand back into our chair and stand arms along our sides, chair pose. Left leg steps back. Come back into your chair pose and then stand it up one more time. Chair pose. This time right leg does the stepping back. We step back into our chair pose and then we float our arms along our sides, palms facing out. It's a chair pose. Stand it up, arms along your sides. Chair pose, step it back, left foot steps. Float your arms down, float your arms back up, and then step back into our chair, and we stand it up. Ready? Chair pose. Stand it up. Chair pose, sneak your right leg back. Lower your arms, bring them back up. Step that right foot hip distance from your left, and we stand it up. One more time. Chair pose, then stand it up. Chair pose, and we step our left foot back. Lower your arms while we're here in our lunge, and then bring them back into our V shape. Step it, left foot hip distance from right, and stand up. Last time, it's a chair. And then we stand back up. It's chair, and we step it back, right ball of the foot. And then lower your arms while we're here in our lunge. Take your arms back into our V shape, and then it's right foot hip distance from left, and we stand up and float our arms along our sides. Inhale without the chair pose, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, or slide them to your shins or ankles, but think of hinging at your hips and making a long spine happen. Inhale, slide your hands up. Exhale, hinge again, bend your knees as deeply as you need to situate your hands totally flat on the ground and step back into our first down dog. Our first down dog, let's let our feet be as wide as our mat. Bend your knees, press into your hands. Let your arms and ears align so we're not in a struggly bent elbowed situation. And imagine a hook in your tailbone, taking your hips to that corner where the wall and your ceiling meet. Walk your feet forward. We're hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up, inhale. Glide your hands down, exhale. And then we inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, V. And we stand in our mountain with our palms facing out. Adding on. Inhale, V. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs, shins or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale. Bend your knees, palms flat. And we step back to down dog, pushing into our arms and ears aligning. Maybe now hip distance with your feet, but feel free to be wider. I've got my knees bent. I'm on the balls of my feet. I suggest the same for you. Come to plank, shoulders over wrists. And then head back to down dog. Let your hips guide you up and back. Come to plank, shoulders over wrists. One more time, hook in our tailbone. Draws us back. Come to plank, shoulders over wrists. Bring your knees to your mat. Let's be careful not to collapse here. So push the ground away. Come a little bit forward. We keep pushing the ground away even though we're bending our elbows. Our elbows brush gently against our ribs and we come to our belly all the way down. Uncurl your toes and bring your forearms parallel to the long edges of your mat. As you do that, we're still not in a collapse. So karate chop the ground a bit. Press into the tops of your feet till your kneecaps lift. And now traction your elbows towards you so we're guiding our heart through the gateway of our arms. And we are not doing that using our chin. It's actually that feeling of shoulder blades moving towards each other. Lower down. Remember that recipe is we resituate our arms next to our ribs. We'll try not to flap our elbows out like wings. Let them just be gently, softly brushing your ribs. Go forward and up with your chest as you traction your hands a bit. Lower back down, curl your toes under, come through all fours in one piece. And then find the hook in your tailbone that takes you to down dog. So toes are curled under and our hips go up and back. Arms and ears align. Walk your feet forward. We arrive at the front edge of our mat. Hip distance and parallel with our feet. Glide your hands up, inhale. Slide your hands down, exhale. We inhale, rise, reach thumbs to the sky, a V, and then we stand in our mountain with our palms facing out. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to thighs, shins or ankles. Glide your hands up, inhale. Bend your knees, palms flat. Step back to down dog. Remember to oomph into your arms. Come into a plank position and then plant your knees down on your mat. Keep pushing the ground away as we lower our bellies all the way down and uncurl our toes. It's a cobra pose. If you want sphinx forearms, go down. Lower down so that we can curl our toes under and in one chunk come into our all fours. And then to down dog, our hips lift us up and back. Walk your feet forward to your hands. Arrive hip distance and parallel at the front edge. Slide your hands up, inhale. Glide your hands down, exhale. Rise, reach, inhale, thumbs to the sky, a V, and then we stand in our mountain, palms facing out. Inhale, V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to thighs, shins or ankles. Glide your hands up, inhale, take your palms flat and step to down dog. Once we're in down dog, lift your right leg back behind you, step that right foot forward. You may need to help it along, no shame in that. Get your 2 books or blocks, position them on either side of your mat in case you want to use them, and then you might walk that right foot to the right. Bend your back knee, take your hands onto your thigh. We will upright our bodies and V-shape. This is a familiar position. We were here in this pose earlier. Then bring your hands, maybe by way of your blocks, to your mat for down dog. Feel free to stay here in down dog or come to plank with me, shoulders over wrists, and we gently bring our knees down. Push the ground away as we lower to our belly. Uncurl your toes and make it a cobra pose. Maybe it's Sphinx for you. Lower down, curl your toes under to all fours, and then to down dog. Our hips do the lifting. Lift your left leg. Step that left foot forward, help it along if it's helpful. Maybe hands on blocks. We'll bend our back knee a bit, climb our hands onto that left thigh so we can upright our spine, and then V-shape our arms out to the side and up to the sky. Hands come to your mat. You might use your blocks on your way, but we make our way to down dog. From down dog, walk your feet forward, hip distance and parallel to the front edge of our mat. Slide your hands up, inhale, glide your hands down, exhale. We'll inhale, rise, reach thumbs to the sky, V, and then stand into our mountain. Adding some friends. So we'll add to this flow a little bit. Inhale, V-shape, some warrior friends. In fact, exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to thighs, shins, or ankles. Glide your hands up, inhale, palms flat, step back, down dog. Lift your right leg, step that right foot forward, climb yourself up, maybe by way of your thighs, into our crescent pose. And now, hands in a prayer, drop your back heel, your left heel, walk this right foot over to the left a little bit, and then extend your arms wide out to the side. So here we are in a warrior 2 position. 3 moments here. We do want a straight line from our right knee to our right ankle, so you might see if you need to scoot more distance, front and back, into this posture. Now very carefully spin on your back toes, V-shape your arms, position your hands on the ground for down dog. Either stay in down dog or come to plank position, shoulders over wrists, knees come down, and we lower to our belly. Once we're on our belly, uncurl your toes for either cobra pose or Sphinx. Lower down, curl your toes under through all fours and into down dog. Lift your left leg. Step that left foot forward, help it along, climb up onto your thigh if that's helpful. Back knee can bend, and we V-shape into our lunge. Turning it into warrior 2, hands in a prayer. Drop that right heel, back heel. Walk your left foot over to the right. Arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. A couple of moments here. And then remember, we're doing this carefully. We will once again V-shape and spin on our right toes, facing the front of our mat. And then hands to your mat for down dog. So palms flat, oomph into your arms. Keep that bend in your knees so that your torso is long. That's our priority. Walk your feet forward to your hands. We are hip distance and parallel. Glide your hands up, inhale. Slide them down, exhale. And then it's an inhale, rise, reach. Thumbs to the sky, and we pause here in our mountain. Adding more warriors. Inhale, V, and exhale, hands to thighs, shins, or ankles. Slide your hands up, inhale, bend your knees, palms flat. Step back, down dog. Lift that right leg. Step it forward into crescent. If you want to climb up, use blocks, all of it's good. Drop your back heel, hands in a prayer. Walk this right foot over to the left, and here we are, warrior 2. Our right forearm comes onto our right thigh, and instead of collapsing into that right forearm, we want to make a little karate chop happen. Either left arm up to the sky or maybe left hand on your hip feels best for you. Instead of letting our right hip swing out to the right, let's hug that right hip underneath us. 3 moments. From where we are, carefully spin on those back toes, make it a downward facing dog, and either stay with down dog or join me with our shoulders over our wrists, our knees carefully on our mat, lower all the way to your belly, Sphinx or Cobra pose. And then we lower down, curl your toes under in one chunk. We come to all fours and then make it down dog. Lift your left leg. Step that left foot forward into crescent pose. Remember, you can climb on up in all the various ways. Hands in a prayer, back foot flat. Walk that left foot over to the right. We extend our arms and check on our vertical line, knee to ankle, and then take our left forearm across that left thigh. Right arm can stay up to the sky or come onto our hip. We want to check to make sure our left shoulder and left ear are not in a crumble. And then pause a few moments in side angle pose here. We exit here, spinning on our back toes, bringing our hands to our mat for downward facing dog. And then from downward facing dog, walk your feet forward to your hands. We're hip distance and parallel. Slide your hands up, inhale. Slide your hands down, exhale. Then we inhale, rise, reach, thumbs to the sky, a V. And we stand for a moment, quite a collection of warriors. Let's keep flowing. Inhale, V. Exhale, hinge, hands to thighs, shins or ankles. Glide your hands up, inhale, and then palms are flat for our downward facing dog. Lift your right leg, step that right foot forward into our crescent, and then drop your back heel, hands in a prayer, walk this right foot over to the left, warrior two. Right forearm across our thigh, left arm can stay up to the sky or come onto your hip, it's up to you. And then upright your torso and carefully straighten that right leg. Not a side bend, a hinge at our hip. So you might sneak your left heel a little bit further back and then reach way out with that right hand and find your block. You might find your shin. If you're doing that, I want you to be very careful not to push too much into that right shin. And same thing here, left arm can stay to the sky or left hand can come onto your hip. You might choose to stay just like this or move your block forward and step up into half moon, which is just triangle on one leg. You'll need to hug that right hip underneath you. You can float your left arm up or not. Take a look at where you're going. I like my hand on my hip to help. Bend your right knee, slide your block with you to the outside of that right foot, and then return to triangle where some of us have remained. All of us will bend that right knee, spin on our back toes, take our hands to our mat, and step to down dog. And then you might stay in down dog or come to plank, shoulders over wrists, gently drop your knees down and come onto your belly. Uncurl your toes as we come into Cobra pose or maybe Sphinx. Lower down, curl your toes under in one piece. We come to all fours and then it's down dog. Your left leg lifts. Step that left foot forward and climb up into your crescent lunge. And then warrior two, hands in a prayer, drop your back foot, walk that left foot over to the right. Side angle, left forearm across our thigh, right arm up to the sky or hand on our hip. We're making plenty of space between that left shoulder and that left ear. And then we upright our torso, straighten our front leg, remind ourselves not to side bend. Maybe sliding our right heel back a little bit is helpful. Reach way out, take your left hand presumably on your block. If it's on your shin, please be careful. And a couple of moments here. Some of us will take our right hand on our hip and float this triangle onto one leg, otherwise known as half moon. Your block goes about a foot out in front of that left pinky toe. You are under no obligation to do this half moon. If you're doing it, maybe your right arm reaches up to the sky for a moment. And then we'll join our friends in triangle. Bring that right hand on your hip again. Step it back. Move your block with you. Once you stick your landing, bend that front knee. Take your top arm up, spin on your back toes, situate your hands so that we're in our downward facing dog. In down dog, this time, lift your right leg, step that right foot forward and lower your back knee. Let's carefully design a single pigeon. I like to use my block to sit on, so a book, folded blanket, cushion from your couch, all of that will work. Step this right foot over to the left side of your mat, and it's completely fine to be quite side saddle-y like this. Eventually, you're thinking of sliding that left leg straight back and dropping this left hip, but I want you to be careful about this front knee and anything else that it might be feeling a little sharp around. So stretching the front of this left leg, pretty intense. So find where the porridge is just right. You can then come onto your hands, your forearms, but make it your own. I often use my second block underneath my hands, and you can bring your forearms onto it. But like I said, something where you're feeling a stretch in your right hip and in the front of your left leg, but that doesn't feel like it's sharp, doesn't feel electrical, and it feels like you can hang out here with me for 1 full minute of silence, starting now. That was a full minute. Coming out of this, we've got a lot of toys, right? So start to scoot your toys out of the way. Let's bring ourselves to all fours for a moment. And once we're on all fours, just a couple of cat-cows. Press into your arms, tuck your tailbone, and then let your hips get kind of sassy to the sky. And we'll do that one more time. So it's just your hips moving, tuck your tailbone, like tail between your legs, and then get sassy with your hips up and back. And then one more time, tuck your tailbone. This time, when you find your sass, let it take you to down dog. Lift your left leg, step that left foot forward and lower your back knee. And then let's get our proppage happening. I've got my block at the ready. You can sit your left sit bone on that. Maybe it's quite side saddle-y and you've got all the stretch that you need happening. Great. Perhaps you can curl your back toes under, think of dropping that right hip. Then I like to bring my other block into the mix in front of me. You might just be on your forearms without a block. That's great too. And we pause here. We've got another full minute of silence, so make sure that there's no prickly electrical feedback. It's just interesting, and you can endure it for 1 minute starting now. Then we make our way out of this side to lie down on our back. So you don't have to go through all fours unless that was helpful, but you do want to be conscientious on your way out and move your props. And then find your way to lying on your back. Feet are hip distance as we lie down. And take one bridge pose, so shimmy your shoulder blades underneath you, let your fingers face the sky, and then lift your hips up. You're not trying to get your hips particularly high, just a nice little extension at the hip. You might interlace your hands, snuggle your shoulders even further underneath you. And then we release that down, and we'll take a twist here. So scoot your hips to the right, let your knees drop to the left. Perhaps you cross your right knee over your left knee as we do that. And then come to center, and now scoot your hips to the left, and let your knees drop to the right, and maybe you cross your left knee on top of your right knee as you do that. Bring yourself down the middle and place the bottoms of your feet together with your knees butterflying out to the side. Then shimmy your shoulder blades underneath you. You can always slide folded blankets, cushions, blocks underneath your thighs if you'd like to. Now, for our Shavasana final meditation, you could choose to stay in this position. I just want to make sure it's not something that's got so much sensation around it that you feel fidgety. I want it to feel really like the rest and digest. So if this doesn't quite work for you, no worries. You can always do it with your knees bent and your feet on the ground, or your legs straight out in front of you. But you decide. Use any props, any cushions, any things that you find in your house. You can cover your body, cover your eyes, close your eyes. But this is our 2-minute rest and digest. We're all coming out of different positions. If you stayed in the butterfly position, go slowly and help it along. Draw your knees towards each other. If you're lying with your legs straight, you'll still draw your knees towards your chest. All of us actually arrive at the same thing from different places. And then use your hands to slowly come up to any comfortable seat. That could be cross-legged. You might sit on a block, sit on a cushion. And once we're situated, once we're seated, let your palms be up or down on your thighs, and take a moment to feel the effects of flowing through some warrior poses together, so that when we step off our mat and become warriors out into the world, we are energized, inspired. I'm Andrea. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I look forward to us doing this again together soon.